Hey there, welcome to the gym this rainy Wednesday afternoon. To this episode of Between the Weights, I am Ryan, and I'm excited to take just a second of your time today and talk to you a little bit, right? I don't know how many of you are or have ever been to church. I don't know if this applies to anything outside of church. Church is where I'm familiar with this idea, right? But there's some really basic things at church that you get taught, and you get taught over and over and over. From the time you're a little kid to an adult, right? They're always talking about the same things, right? About how, you want to be closer to God or a better person, right? There's this list of things that you should do, right? And it's so routine that they get referred to as like the primary answers, right? Because a little kid in his little kid church class can rattle off all those answers, right? And those answers don't ever change, right? Things like praying and reading the scriptures, right? Things, just being a good person, right? All of these things are the things that you get taught at church all the time, right? And sometimes people like to get real excited about drilling down into Bible verses and trying to figure out exactly what they mean, and reading it like 3 different ways, and that's what gets them excited, right? And that's what they think they need to learn. That's what's going to get them to heaven, is if they really know what the Bible means inside and out, right? And they want to have really hardcore doctrine type discussions about different church things, right? And while, that's okay to have that sort of knowledge of things, right? If you really, say if it's nutrition and you really want to get nerdy about nutrition and go down the rabbit hole on exactly how many carbs and where the carb's from, and is a carb from a potato really different from a carb from oatmeal or rice, right? Is protein from a cow better or not than protein from a chicken, right? We can really get real deep into nutrition, right? And it can seem like knowing a whole lot about these really sophisticated and complex things is what's going to get you there, right? So, whatever brand of nutrition you want to call it, right? You've decided that meat from animals in general are just not meant to be consumed, right? So you're going to do whatever it is, right? And you're going to really drill down into the fact that, whatever, chicken is just better, right? And that's your stance, and you're going to stick to it forever, and that's all you're ever going to eat, right? When really, the basics of nutrition are eat real single ingredient foods, right? Try to not be processed. Try to be as natural as possible, and you need to eat enough protein, fat, and carbohydrates to fuel your lifestyle, your workouts, but not to an excess where they sustain body fat, right? If you want to lose fat, that's all that it takes, right? The basics it's just the answers, right? And we don't need to get into the complicated things until you've mastered the basic things, right? We don't even need to worry about what source the protein comes from if you're not getting enough, right? Nutrition, okay? The most basic thing we can say about nutrition is that you need protein, you need fat, you need carbohydrates at an amount that supports your workouts. You need to sleep 8 hours. You need to work out at really high intensities sometimes, and moderate to low intensities other times. And you need to lift heavy weights. You need to do these workouts 3 or 4 times a week, right? So you need to exercise, you need to eat right, and you need to sleep, okay? The basics. Basics are never gonna change. And until you dial in the basics as best as possible, right? Maybe you only need 7 hours of sleep. But we're not gonna know that until you start doing that, right? The basics are the basics for a reason. And I know that it gets kind of old hearing the same old story all the time, right? Eat right, exercise, sleep, right? We all know these things. We all do, right? You just gotta do it. And being really, really hardcore about sticking to it is what's gonna help, right? We talked the other day about finding our true north, self-awareness, virtue for the Spartan race, right? If you're looking towards something that is your true north, something that you are not willing to waver from on the path towards it,